Hello, peoples. Alright, I know I'm going to go lives in one day, but fuck it, I'm bored, okay? So, I have two makeup palettes that I'm in the mood to throw out today, and one of them is an expired James Charles palette that I'm sure someone in the Makeup Fanatic session was having a mini hissy fit because, oh my god, I'm throwing out a James Charles palette. It's expired, it's old, it can't be used. Calm down. Anyway, this is old, it's expired, not going to do this, so we're going to destroy it. And this one is also a makeup palette that is old and expired and I can't use, so we're destroying it today. Okay, fam? Okay. So, how are we destroying this, you may ask? With my lovely friend, Mr. Toothpick. He is going to be the one that's going to be helping us destroy this shit. Alright, let's get started with this palette. So, I'm sure someone probably wonders why I am deciding to destroy a makeup palette with a toothpick. It's because, frankly, I don't want people using these old makeup palettes because they're old and they should not go on the eyes. And it's my makeup, so yeah. Anyway, let's actually go through these and get them started. So the shade I'm going to start off with is Capricorn. We're just going to start off destroying this one because it's the most, well, one of the least used. It's the most filled. And yeah, we just love going in there for them destroy points. Look at all that makeup drop. It's all there. It's all going in the trash bin. I also apologize to anyone who finds the sound of toothpicks scratching the most annoying thing in the world. I'm sorry, but I need to destroy these because they are not in a good condition. But yeah, anyway, I like to destroy my makeup like this just because I find it really fun. And I don't know why, but am I the only one that finds this oddly satisfying just to sit there and like destroy makeup? Like, I don't know. I find it oddly satisfying. Like, it's just like buying it for me. It's so weird. Like, I could sit here for hours and destroy makeup because just the feeling of like every tin just like getting completely empty by a toothpick, just, I don't know. It just satisfies me. And also because, you know, we love that. We love that sudden drop. Yeah, but like also because I just find it really fun and you get to see the palette like in its original form, especially if you're like me and half the time you pan shit and then half the time you can't pan anything to save your life because sometimes you find a makeup palette too pretty and then you have to remind yourself to use it because it's a makeup palette and it goes bad. But that's also because some people just do not know how makeup palettes work and everything, and it's a mess. It's a mess. People do not know how makeup palettes work, which is sad because these palettes are really nice. But yeah, we should be having people like not buy so much makeup. Like, and I know I'm a hypocrite in the sense that I buy so much makeup, but I also kind of realize that it's not so good for the environment, and it just, yeah, it's just not a good situation, especially like fast fashion, fast makeup. It's not really sustainable, and a lot of times people just throw out stuff because, they bought too much of it. And I am no exception. I buy way too much makeup, and it is just like literally the most irritating thing. I kind of wish that what I could do is like take my phone and just do the whole entire scratching with the toothpick, but we'll make do with this just because I'm bored and it's a storm and I am not taking my phone and taking this live stream off just because. Like, sometimes I don't think certain things through. I mean, don't we all though? Though, Anyway, getting back to my point, yeah, with fast fashion and makeup and everything, it's just not a very good sustainable environment for our environment and our livelihoods, really. Like, it's good as far as like, yeah, these industries make a ton of money, but it's really bad for like everyone who maybe wants to save a little bit of money and wants to maybe have certain things of clothing and that be it. Especially when you're an adult woman who, wants to have fashion that can just stay with them for a really long while, because maybe you don't have all the money in the world to spend on, clothes and all that. But it also makes me bring up a point that I didn't really think I would ever bring up with these types of discussions. Why does nobody talk about how these work cultures literally make it way too difficult for you to even like wear the clothes that you would typically wear? Like, I understand it makes it look more professional and everything, but like, I don't know. I mean, there's just some jobs where it's like, really, you're going to get mad at the guy because he's not in a suit and tie and he's instead in a pair of like, for example, sweats. Like, I don't understand why men and women should be held to the standard of like, you have to look extra good for your job if maybe, say, your job is like something really basic. It just, I don't get it. Like, I don't get why like my job would be marketing and no one's gonna see my face, but for some reason I have to go in with like a dress every single day to work. Like, it just, I don't know. Maybe it's just me and my line of thinking, but I just kind of wish that like some of these jobs would be a little bit more reasonable when it comes to stuff like fashion, and kind of just accept the fact that some people maybe have different fashion preferences, and if you're not seeing their face, then why does it matter? Like, I can understand with retail why it matters, because like, you know, you have customers that, get a little biased towards the looks and they get a little biased towards certain things, but I don't get it with certain jobs that are a little bit more like, not so public. But yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention. Now we can see almost all of this like scratched out. We're starting on some of these little outer parts here. I am like the worst at presenting this. I am sorry to whoever's watching this. I suck. Please keep in mind I'm a girl in her bedroom just doing this because I'm bored out of my mind. I hope you're not trying to seriously analyze my video. Please just watch it with an open mind. Um, but yeah, no, like getting back to the whole job thing, like I just don't understand why like we have to have that. And I don't understand also why, women just kind of can't wear makeup to work whenever they feel comfortable to. Like, I don't understand why makeup makes it look more professional. Like, I love wearing makeup to work, but I also kind of feel bad for the people who maybe don't like wearing makeup to work but kind of have to because, maybe their job environment just dictates it. Because, like, who wants that? Who wants to deal with that? Like, I don't really think it's really fair that there's a lot of people having to wear makeup and being forced into wearing makeup when maybe they just don't want to wear makeup that much. And not to mention, like, wearing makeup too much isn't really good for the eyes and all that stuff, as far as like, it can make your eyes very irritated. It can do certain things to your eyes that, if you're not careful, can really hurt you. I mean, I don't know the full science behind it. I'm just some girl like spouting in her room. So please, like, if you like wearing makeup every day, wear it as much as you want. But like, this is stuff I've heard, and this is stuff that like people have talked about with me. And yeah, especially like if you're wearing expired eyeshadow, please throw it out. It's not, throw it out. Do what I do with the destruction of said shadow palette, because honey, those expired makeups, yeah, after a certain duration of time, they are gonna actually give you a sty, and those things hurt. Nobody talks about how much a sty hurts. Like, I have gotten a tattoo before, and the tattoo is less painful than a sty. Trust me, it is way less painful than a sty. So please throw out your makeup. Like, if you could get through a sty, you probably could sit through a tattoo. I'm just being honest. Like you could even deal with the after pain of a tat more than likely. Like it's nowhere near as bad. But yeah, I don't understand why these jobs kind of force it within their culture and why these jobs make it seem like wearing makeup's the only true way of being a professional. Like I have seen people that have worn makeup and let me tell you, they do not deserve their jobs because they are the types of people that will literally be so manipulative towards their employees in the worst way possible. You know, like literally like gaslighting their employees and shit because, you know, they don't give a shit about the employee, they give a shit about themselves. And it's just kind of like, bro, why? You know, like I don't think makeup should be measuring professionalism. I think how the person acts in their job should measure their professionalism. And, you know, that to me should be enough. Like, trust me, I get that you have a Karen. I get that you have certain people who like to terrorize your lives. I totally get it. But, you know, I just don't think that there's just certain things that we as a society should do. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm that type of person where I think certain things shouldn't be allowed at work that are. Like, I don't really think a lot of political mass should be allowed at work because I feel like a lot of them have started fights between coworkers and everything. And it's kind of one of those things where it's like, it's not a good situation if you're just a person on the outside because like you just don't want to deal with people fighting over, you know, politics. And don't get me wrong, I think politics is more than necessary to keep a country alive. I'm just saying that I think as far as a workplace, I think it just creates too many fights and there's too many Karen situations and it just kind of needs to kind of have someone tell them like, no, you shouldn't do this. Okay, so I just finished the little outer parts here. So basically almost all of this is shine. I probably suck at like getting some of the other stuff out with the toothpick, but the toothpick's not the cleanest method. I don't know what is. I'm sorry. I'm a makeup fanatic, but I'm not that much of a fanatic. But yeah. Now all we have is the highlighter, and then we're going on to our main event, the James Charles palette. So yeah. These palettes in general are just really fun to destroy, and I honestly just enjoy destroying them. I don't know, like it makes the sadness of getting rid of a really good palette just kind of a little better because you're destroying like you're kind of destroying it in a way that like is kind of fun for you. I like at least that's how I feel. Like I personally really enjoy destroying these palettes. Like it's just to me it's so satisfying seeing what is in a palette like this. Like I find it so satisfying. But anyway, this palette is done. I'm gonna probably throw the actual packaging out off screen. It's just I'm not doing that today just because they're very big and this is a tiny trash can. So yeah. Anyway, I think what I'm gonna do actually change the formatting a little bit. I think what I'm gonna try to do is show the palette before how it was and then show it after how it is, like during the destruction process. But anyway, so this is my James Charles palette before the destruction. This is literally all my shades and everything like that. This is it. This is the palette that I am destroying. I think this actually might be a better angle for it. Anyway, let's get started with toothpick destruction. So, yeah, I personally hold the belief with certain things that like political stuff at work should just be kept out. Like I understand people feel very passionately and you know, I don't think workplaces should judge you for your social media contents or anything like that. I just think as far as like you actually showing up to your job, you should try to keep it as non-political as possible just because you know, it's one of those things where I just can never understand how people do political stuff at work if it's not a political job. Like, okay, you work at freaking Mandy's. Like, why are you wearing a Trump 2020 mask? Like, I don't get it. Like, I understand you like the guy, but I also understand that like some of us want to shop and maybe don't want to hear about your whole entire political tirade with the president that's the former president that's literally a man-child. But, besides the point, I just think that when it comes to certain things, we should have much more of an open mind. I think actually this might be the best angle. But yeah, we should be allowing people to speak on their own platforms. And when it comes to other workplace environments, I feel like it gets too messy when you have people trying to speak on their own platform at your workplace. And yeah, I just think it makes people judge you in a way that you shouldn't have to be judged, unfortunately, but you kind of are judged, at least from my experience of working retail and having to deal with the occasional Karen or two, because Karens freaking suck. They will throw a temper tantrum over everything, and the sooner you can diffuse a situation, the better, because you don't want to have to call the cops on a retail store. It's not fun. And like, not only that, but like some managers will also act insanely immature about having to call said cops because some guy or some lady is throwing a fit over like a freaking situation. Like, it's not fun. It's not fun. Please don't torture retail associates. We have a hard enough job. In fact, please just don't torture fellow humans. Like, can we just agree that human torture in general should just be outlawed entirely? Unless if it's like, you making fun of your friend or something and just trying to torture them because you're making fun of them. Other than that, I think like that type of stuff should be outlawed. Like, I'm sorry, but like, don't torture some poor person just because, they're maybe wearing a rainbow like mask at their job and it doesn't even say gay pride. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. This is all the big chunky stuff out. The morphine palettes, I don't know, man. Is it just me, or do they feel like they kind of have like the same circle thing? And it's just kind of like, I kind of wish they would expand their packaging a little. But then again, I'm not buying Morphe anymore off of hearing the stuff about them falsely making certain things vegan when they weren't vegan. It's just, I don't support companies where they deceive their customers like that, because that is just not okay. If someone wants to be vegan, they should be information, so in that way they are not putting any animal byproducts or anything on their face. That is my opinion. And honestly, I don't get the people who do that, because it's just not right. Like, do not deceive your customers. If your customers have an allergen restriction or whatever, please make them aware of what you're doing, just so in that way they don't have to they don't have to worry, because even when you're trying to do something like being a vegan, which by the way, I admire vegans very much so, because their diets are restrictive as all hell, and I don't know how they do it, but I think it's awesome that they have such pure intentions towards keeping animals safe. It's a really good thing. But yeah, I don't know how you guys do it. Like, I wish I had that much control, but I do not. It's just not in my cards, because why should it be, right? I wish that I could just get this at like the perfect angle, so like you guys could see the destruction while I'm doing it, but like, I feel like it requires a cell phone and a shit ton of editing, and Homegirl does not want to do either or, because I'm bored right now and I just want something to do right now. So like, sorry. But yeah, I think workplaces in general are just kind of those things where it's like everyone has their own like quasi feelings on like professionalism, and every industry has their own standards and everything. And I don't know. I think stuff like fight diffusions and everything should kind of be made more mandatory, since it is not a fun situation to have to be a person to diffuse a fight. I have had to diffuse people a couple times at my old job, and that was nowhere near fun. Karen's going crazy, and you just kind of have to calm them down, you know? And the worst part is when you have a manager that was a Karen. Let me tell you, man, those managers that are Karen make your lives 20 times harder because they don't understand why they're putting people like you, the associate, and the customer in the worst positions. Oh, it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. Because it's like, we do our jobs, right? So then that way we can earn a living. And we don't want someone making our jobs harder. So Karen managers make our jobs a lot harder because they're just a lot more self-centered, and then they make us have to do things that we don't want to do. Like, I don't want to tell a customer, oh, the sign's invalid because so-and-so forgot to take it down because they weren't doing their job, because they were in the back chatting on their phone because they don't care about their job. Like, I'm sorry. I hate when that happens because, you're just kind of put in a situation where you kind of have to act like a manager, even though that's not your job. If I have to act like a manager, then why not pay me like a manager? If I have to do something above my pay grade, pay me my pay grade. Because I don't like the thought of doing stuff above my pay grade and not even getting the slightest bit of recognition for, not doing that. And I feel like a majority of the people are the same way. Like, who wants to do a job where they're not earning as much as they deserve? I know I don't. I know you don't, because nobody does. Nobody likes to earn less than what they deserve. And, it's just kind of irritating whenever managers or, authority figures don't realize their true potential. Like, I don't know, call me crazy, but I just kind of have that feeling. And it's like, I have met some awesome managers. Like, the managers at my current job so far have been really awesome to me. Like, when I didn't feel comfortable about going into work today because of the snowstorm, they treated me amazing. And I, like, most of the times with my other managers, they would have either fired me or tried to use some excuse to get me to come in or something, where where the managers at this current job are just like, we understand, like, wish you were here, but we understand, especially since my road did not look plowed. My road looked like it had black ice. I don't feel comfortable going to work in that environment. I don't think many people would be. And it's just kind of nice when people kind of realize that, when you don't have to deal with someone being like, oh, well, you have to be in work and you have to do this. It's like, I'm not risking my life or someone else's life just to get to work. Like, I love my money, but I don't love it that much. I don't love it to where I would possibly hurt someone for it. I don't believe in that. And I mean, listen, there's times where we have to do stuff we don't want to do, and we have to kind of be grown-ups and realize that there's certain life situations that we have that are out of our control. But, it's just kind of one of those things. Oh, I should have tilted it the other way. No, I still got some more. But it's kind of one of those things where it's like, sometimes with snowstorms and stuff like that, you kind of have to weigh out your pros and cons of going in, because some of these places really kind of do suck with giving you off, but usually some of them are very understanding and will basically tell you, like, hey, you know, this is this, it's okay, you know. Yeah. I wonder what that thump was about. Like, I literally just heard a thump. I hope it's not anything serious, but we will see as time goes on. I might even check it after I'm done with this, but that's also because I don't want to leave my palette mid Picasso in the sense of like I just don't want to leave it while I'm like trying to destroy it. But that's also my feelings on it. Okay, I'm throwing this part out. Ugh. It's just, yeah, like has anyone else had like those really just shitty managers where it's like, you know, you try to give them any logical reasoning and they just don't hear you and they get really mad at you over it? Because I've had them and they're not fun, but you know, I'd love to know if I'm alone on that one or if I just have like a string of bad luck by having multiple of them. It's, yeah, it's not fun. From what I've heard from other people, they've had multiple strings of them, but I don't know. I mean, really. It's just kind of weird how in 2021 there's still people that, you know, that have jobs like managers and they do not deserve it. I don't know, like I don't think managers should have like a hard entryway, but I also don't think that people who aren't the most friendly and aren't the most compassionate people are somehow put into positions of management, because management should be what it is, you know, where you're managing people. And sometimes managing people means that you have to be a bit friendly. And I don't know, I kind of hate those managers. And I mean, listen, there's times where maybe certain groups of people force you into that corner, but once they force you into that corner, that should be clear that you should fire them because they are not the right people to work with. Because, you know, like if they're not right to work with, because, you know, you try to go an average level on them and they're just going nuclear, like that's a sign. Actually, I think I am going to do it this way. I don't know. I find rainbow palettes so pretty, and I need to try the one from Rude, but I'm trying not to buy too much makeup because I'm really trying my best not to like flood my palettes with like all this unnecessary makeup. Like it's just not healthy anymore. I might even start doing like a palette or two a year. Like I might start doing like 2 big palettes maybe, and then like a lot of mini palettes, just so in that way I can just kind of like play around with makeup but not have to like worry about committing. But I don't know. And I mean, like, I don't know if I'm going to do it to where like I'm going to have makeup at home and then when school goes back to normal, like the makeup that I would do when I dorm, because I'm currently at community college, but I'm going to have to dorm because, you know, dorming is just not the best situation, you know. But when we have to live about 2 hours away from home, it's like either dorm or just live your life frustrated. And I would rather just dorm than having to take a bus 2 hours every day to school. Like, I would love to just be able to take my bus to school and just call it that and be able to live at home. But I don't know. It's just, it just seems very aggravating. And just to have that, it just doesn't seem right. Like, if it was like an hour away, I would possibly debate it, just because it's like, you know, you could plan shit around, you can really do stuff, and you can really just see how you feel about living in a dorm and all that. But like, I don't know. I do not know. Life for me right now is just very much in the uncertains. And oh, I keep on forgetting to do it like that. We're on the last grind of it, people. It's going to be very exciting. I'm sure this video of like a half hour probably bored somebody. Sorry. But we were in the last stretches of these looks. Of these pallets being full-blown destroyed because it's a snowstorm and I'm bored. It's kind of sad though that Morphe kind of lied to their customers, because I feel like if they didn't, I would have been much more of an avid supporter. But you know, it's kind of the thing of like you can't expect certain companies to be good. Unfortunately, some of them are just full-blown shit. And I feel bad for Morphe's employees because, you know, they probably poured their heart and souls into their work. And just to have a situation like that tear them down, I am sure that that's probably pretty soul-crushing. And I'm sure that there's some of them that went into the job very altruistic, and maybe they saw certain things that they didn't agree with or like, and, you know, again, pretty soul-crushing stuff. But, yeah. Honestly, all I know is that I'm probably not going to get monetized because, you know, I don't do enough. My videos are just kind of videos, and this is kind of my channel where I just do everything. You know, seriously, if you haven't checked out my other videos, please check them out because Homegirl loves to just do whatever. Which, by the way, this palette destroyed is just, I don't know, like this shade is just so pretty. Like, I genuinely wish that there were more shades like it because it just is so pretty. I mean, yeah, staining of the eyes kind of suck, but yeah. Anyway, this is the palette destroyed. And this is the other palette destroyed. Alright, guys, I hope you stay safe. I hope you enjoyed my half hour of rambling. And I hope you subscribe to my channel because you might see more stuff like this. You might not. You might hear me cuss. You might hear so many other things. Stay safe, you guys. You know, hopefully you're not in a severe storm like I currently am right now. Just be safe and be you.